Okay, here we are in living color. Sunny. I think it's sunny, Boca Raton, Florida. I haven't been up there in a while. Sometimes it's sunny, and sometimes it's not. Let me turn down epidemias. It doesn't come up on my soundboard right, so I have it coming through my speakers on my laptop here, which aren't terrible, but it's not like just bringing it electronically right over here to this button. But it's, I don't know, there's some nuance of how all this comes together, which, I don't understand. When you don't do this for a while, you got to pay attention. So I'm over here in the side corner. Okay, learn a new little trick. So I can go back here to. Oh, I got to add this. There we go. So then we have two of them. I swapped cameras. I moved it around, so I like it. I like it. It's my source material. There's always something to talk about. Here's a picture of number one son on the beach. You can see his toes. He had it a little cockamamie, so I made it so the horizon is always on the horizon. You don't have it tilted. You just don't do that. Not when there's a horizon in the picture. Other kinds of pictures you can do that, but not with the horizon. So anyway, this gal's in the news again because they're trying to figure out how to. Let me turn down epidemias here. There we go. Um, yeah, that's better. We can turn it down this way, I guess. She's trying to figure out. I can't tell what they're doing because you read one story, it says one thing. You read another story, it says another thing. I actually don't know for sure, for certainty, what her deal is. She's in California, I think, and they were or are or were they bought a big $14 million doodad, and the last I heard that was truthful is that um, the security the security cost was like tremendous. So they're thinking of maybe getting rid of that mansion and picking up something else uh, that's easier to control. From a security standpoint, security cost. You can always have. In other words, you don't ask the question, "Can you secure my residence?" You want to know how much and how you do it. Otherwise, you never know what you're going to end up with. So that's one of the things that's in the news with this young lady. And the other thing that's Meghan Markle. She was in the movie Suits, and she played one of the. She played like a paralegal, and then she went to law school, and so she became a lawyer, and she was like a junior lawyer. And Prince Harry showed up, so she like got off the show. They found a way to get her off the show. They scripted her out, and I think the husband and her went off to another place. Anyway, the Suits program, I started from I never watched it, and then a month ago I figured, you know what, I want to watch it, and it's actually a pretty good show. You know, I never knew what the big deal is with her, but anyway, Harry is happy. That's the important thing. I'm married 42 years, so I'm over here in my eighth floor condominium unit here in Royal Palm Place, so apartment unit. Anyway, so she wants to become, if you can see this right here, a Hollywood. It's in quote marks there. A Hollywood power player. Now, I don't exactly understand what that means. Maybe the Hollywood people can explain it to you, but from 3,000 miles away, I don't know what a Hollywood power player means. Anyway, probably means she's looking for a job. But yeah, she's got a great complexion. She should be, she should have if not already, uh, a cosmetics, company. She probably does already. Anyway, that would be a good thing for her to do. All right, here's a we happened upon this program called Sweet Magnolias. When I grew up, we had two magnolia trees, two or three of them in the front yard, and they would flower, and it was this beautiful flower that come out of this tree, in the springtime, I think, and it's a magnolia tree, and they grow up into a big major tree. Um, I've never seen anything made out of magnolia wood, so I don't know what the meaning of that is, but this Joanne Garcia Swisher, Wish Wisher, and then with an S, Swisher. That's her husband's name. She's married, two kids. She's 43, and a stunning looking, look at that happy face. Yeah, very nice. Anyway, so we were watching that show, and so a couple of articles came up on her. She showed up, this, apparently there's a lot of interest in this young lady because of the Sweet Magnolia. They're going to season 3. They're starting to shoot season 3. So, she's got her little abs showing there, almost like an ab. Anyway, she's 43. She's very attractive. Um, anyway, that's cool. So here's a few articles that popped up that, that got my interest. See, season 3 of Sweet Magnolias is officially on the way after a dramatic ending of season 2. So we're in season 2, like halfway through season 2. So there's a dramatic ending to season 2. I can't wait to see what that's all about. It's it's a girly show. So Marilyn likes to see it, so I watch it. Not under protest, but I have my iPad going, so I'm multi-processing while this show is on. It's not bad, but there's a dramatic ending. So yeah, we gotta tune into that one. Yeah. So here it is. Sweet Magnolia star Joanne Garcia Swisher looks uh un she looks unreal. I guess that means terrific, I guess. In the latest bikini selfie. And that's this shot right here. Okay. So we didn't want you to wonder what that was all about. Um, so Elon Musk decided that uh, he doesn't like Twitter. I mean, he owns Twitter, but he doesn't like the name Twitter. So he's calling it X. No more little blue birdie. It's just X. And he projected or had caused a projection on, he doesn't do anything. He's got people to do things. People, I want a big X, uh, and lights shined on my building when the sun goes down. So this is the X that was shining on the building. No more little blue Tweety bird, for the Twitter. So you call it, so I'm going to X you. I can't send you a tweet. I have to send you an X. Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah. I mean, he called one of his kids for, all these exclamation points and things. The guy's, he's, you know, very ingenious. Uh, I saw he had an IQ of 156. Uh, one of my kids has an IQ higher or equal to, I think it's 156 actually. Our daughter is 156. We have a son that's like 158. Anyway, so IQ is not the reason why Elon has exceeded to the point where he has, but he is certainly ingenious. Ingenuity incorporates the word genius. So he has those characteristics, which that's marvelous. Um, SpaceX, and he probably buying Twitter is probably not one of his brighter moves, but he did it anyway against all his recommendations. Oh, I see up in the corner here, they're pulling a little baby out of a car. There's a car wreck. And they want to get the little kid, pulling him right through the windshield. See it up there? Wow. Holy mackerel. Video showing people rescuing a baby from a hot car. Someone left the kid in a goddamn hot car. I mean, when will these goddamn people learn that you don't lock up a kid in a car and go into the grocery store? Because you forget about it, and all of a sudden, the temperature in a car raises rather quickly. We have a Tesla, and there is one of the features in the application in the what do you call it? Disconnect. Pause. The Tesla app. There we go. There it is. Marilyn is parked in the parking lot. I think. Oh yeah, you can see it right there. Yeah, so here's the Tesla app. You can kind of see it over here. Um, let's see. I can do it here. Let's do it here. There's the Tesla app. Oh boy. We'll do it on there. It's easier. I think everything show up on there. Yeah, let's see. It's got the latest software. Yep. So I will get out of the. I will just reduce that and put this back here. There we go. Put that over there. So I'm going to show you. You see right here? I can't expand over this. So let's do this. I think if I need to switch cameras. Oh boy. If you had a producer, then the producer would do that, in a studio thing. Uh, but anyway, so you can see, yeah. What's this? Now, whoops, whoopsie doopsie. Afraid I kicked this. What's this button do? Anyway, we can see. We see the car is located at 2300 Glades Road. That's where her building is. And I can actually touch this little thing right here. And we can see her car parked right in the parking lot. I know exactly where that parking spot is. It's right. She gets there first thing in the morning. So but it's a hot spot. If I got there first thing in the morning, I'd find a tree. But she doesn't. It's closer because the front door is right over here, right over there. So, can you see my finger? Not so good. Anyway, so now I have to hit this back. All right, so that's where she's parked. The car has its own GPS and cellular system in it. So, um, jeez. There we go. Um, so it can find it. You can find it. It can find itself. It knows where it is, and I can see where it is. Now, the whole purpose in this conversation is uh, this right here, where it says climate, cabin overheat protection. See that right there, right in the middle of your screen, right below climate, and um, the interior is 86 degrees. The exterior is 97. So it is a little toasty outside. And cabin overheat protection is on. And I'm protecting the car so that it does not get to 90 or over. That's how I have this thing set up. You can have it so that it'll get up to 95, or you can get it to 100. But 90 is, 90 is hot, but it's not. If I didn't have cabin protection on this thing, um, it would, the temp, it'd go to 135. I've turned it off and it goes to 135. So I don't want the car to go to 135. If for some reason someone ever got locked in the car, at least the cabin temperature would not get over 90. Now it happens to be, you see on the very top here, it says 5 p.m. There's an alarm. That's why that's like bright. Interior 86. So there's there's a sensor system in the car because I have the cabin protection on. It'll not get over 90. And it's currently 86 because the cabin overheat protection is operational, and that's why that line is there. If I turned it off, this line would disappear. I can do it. I think I can talk to my car. Uh, I can turn it on no AC, and I'll just turn it off. So now it's off. It may take a second for that signal to get to the car. It's off. Eventually, this line will disappear. Oh, see, there it is. Takes a while. I had to wake up the car because the car was napping. It goes, no, so I sent the signal to turn off. See, now, look at that. Interior temperature just went up a degree in the 2 minutes that, we're playing around with this thing. So, but that'll get up to, that'll get really, like 120, 135. It's 97 outside. So, outside where that car is. And so that's hot. So you have several ways of dealing with cabin temperature. See, now it's 88. See right in there, 88. All right, we'll get out of this conversation in a minute. So you can have overheat protection with no AC. And what will happen is the windows will drop down about an inch, and then the fan will blow, the hot air out. It'll take the hot air and blow out hot air, So at least the cabin won't be hotter. It'll be slightly hotter than the outside temperature. Well, we are going to put it back on because, it's already up to 90 in the interior. So the car, the electronics in the car will operate. It's got a huge battery, so you lose a couple of miles of range. So that's fine. So this way, when Marilyn, and plus I have another thing set up, so that when Marilyn gets in the car, it's going to be nice and cool. I have a thing on there. So at 4:45, a signal goes to, there's an alarm in the car, and it turns on the air conditioner and preconditions the car so that when she gets in it, the air conditioner has already started. And the cabin temperature would be, like 72 instead of 86. See, it's 92 in the car now. So now, whoops, 93. Oh boy. So the cabin overheat protection is on, and now it has to catch up. The signal hasn't gotten to the car yet. And you'll see it, cabin temperature, protection. There'll be a line there, but it's not there yet. Let's make sure I turned it on. It's on. All right. But well, in a minute or two, the signal will get to the car, and it will start to cool the car down again. What else we got going here? That's it. See, here's the schedule. The car will precondition so that by 5, it'll be nice and cool in there. Every weekday. See, weekdays, set climate and preheat the battery, which, it's already, there's temperature sensors in there, so it's not going to heat the battery because the battery's already hot because we're in South Florida. And it's, the car won't get below 90. And so it'll precondition. You have choices of what time, so you can touch the time there. And it's like 15-minute intervals. So we should go 4:45. Yeah. That's it. So there you go. So now it's 4:45. A little bit sooner because they get there early, so they don't have to stay till 5. They can leave at 4:45 if they get there at 8:30 instead of 9. I think. Yeah. So they get there a half hour early, so they can leave a little bit early. Beat the traffic, or get in the traffic sooner. All right, so let's go back and see if we have. All right, we do not see. It's on. Interior temperature is 98. Well, the car will wake up and it'll start to manage that situation. But that's how that works. Now let me get away from there. And what else do we want to talk about? Let's see. Oh, we want to go back to the photos. Yeah, this gives me reminders on what is Selena Gomez getting out of a car, out of some. Uh, I knew what I was. If I had, if I was up to speed in my geography. I mean, this could be anywhere on the planet. It has those little doodads on the top up there, uh, on the parapet of the building, at the top of the building. So maybe we're, in India or someplace. But you can see the building in the background. And I didn't, when this article was written, I don't remember hearing about where they were, but they're on a big boat. That's a pretty nice sized boat. It's probably the back end of the boat. And it's got, railings, beautiful condition teak wood. Anyway, so she's getting out of the water. I don't know why that picture's there. It was something interesting, which I forgot. All right, here's another little tidbit. We have, I've been talking about from time to time Hardware 4, the Hardware 4 package that the Teslas have been upgraded to. The interesting about Tesla, as opposed to GM, Ford, BMW, Mercedes Benz, and all that, Mercedes comes out, here's the new, 2023 model car, right? And, so all year they work on new stuff they're going to put in the car. And then once a year, they change their production lines and update stuff, new this and that. Well, Tesla does it differently than all the rest. So instead of annually, when they're ready, when they've done all the testing and, with the various, things that they're going to, increase the, the new cars with the new thingies, the Tesla does it whenever they're ready. So they're ready now with hardware package 4, which means all 8 cameras that surround the car looking in different directions, front, back, sides, so forth. They used to be 1.2 megapixel camera each. And those signals then would go into the computer and it would, diddle with it and, help you drive the car if you had it on, cruise control, which they call autopilot. Well, hardware package 4, as opposed to hardware package 3, hardware package 3 has a computer that's, 10 times faster than your fastest laptop because it's designed to operate the car. It's like a robot control thing, the car it's like a robot with wheels instead of arms and legs. It's exactly robotics. Anyway, so hardware package 3 had a computer at a certain speed, and all the cameras would look out into, the various directions with a 1.2 megapixel image, which is not exactly high resolution in today's terms. But, that hardware package 3 was designed 4 or 5 years ago, or implemented 4 years ago. So now they got hardware HW4. See that right there? HW4. Well, what does that mean? That is the hardware package. The cameras, the 8 cameras, are being upgraded to 5 megapixel cameras instead of 1.2. So 5 megapixels is a much higher resolution image than a 1.2 megapixel camera. And those of you that have an old digital camera, it used to take, like old iPhone. Let's do that. Because I know an old iPhone uh, um, had 1.2 megapixel, selfie, the front facing camera. The rear facing camera was like maybe, you know, 5 or 6 megapixels, but the front facing camera, the camera that's, faces you when you're looking at the phone, the display of the phone, sort of like selfies. That used to be 1.2 megapixels. And those of you that had taken pictures at 1.2 megapixels, it's fuzzy. You can't, there's not a lot of detail. A 5 megapixel image is, just like last year, or the year before, um, the megapixels of the front facing camera was like 5 or 6 megapixels. Then I think the recent camera that's in the front facing camera is 11 megapixels, which that's a whole lot better than, uh, you know, uh, 5 megapixels or 1 megapixel. So a 5 megapixel camera is definitely trying to disconnect my phone from this thing. All right. So they're telling you right here from the Fremont factory, and you can see that F right there. F stands. This is in the serial number block because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 positions. So you can have this in the millions, or you can have like an F, and then have that serial number there. They'll do something about that because they're going to hit the million mark, and it's not going to go 000. It's going to go to 100, and or that F will flip up to a G. Um, you know. Anyway, so they're basically telling you here that they're that starting with serial number F 789400. That's the last car made with hardware 3. So they're basically telling you here, if your car is 789500 or higher, you got the new hardware 4 package in there. They didn't increase the price of the car. It's just, they just took all the, this is all in a plan, right? So they had, a bazillion cameras made up, the all different ways in which they connect to the windshield and around the sides of the car and the back of the car. So the camera module has been swapped out for 5 megapixels each. So in the Fremont factory, they've got that all, they and the what do you call it? The Austin plant. I reported last week that the Austin factory changed. They shut down for a week, the first week of this month, to put in all the new stuff uh, for the new Model Y. Coming up with whatever serial number they have over there in the Austin. So that's probably with an A with a number. My serial number. Let's see if I can get out of this stupid thing. Let's see. So I go to the Tesla app. Here it is. Go back to the main page. See, my serial number is 196834. Look at that. And there's an F in front. So my car was made. Yeah, that makes sense. Because the car is 25 months old. It was manufactured in June of 2021. So I have an F there. And 196834, and this is 789. So they produced, roughly 600,000 cars, in the last, you know, 14 months out of the Fremont plant. So there you go. I have an F in my serial number, which I forgot about. There we go. And, so if your serial number is, below 789-300, you got hardware package 3, which my car is hardware package 3. Now in June of 2024, which is like 11 months from now, our lease will be up in our Tesla. So we turn in the car. We can't buy the car. We can't do anything. Our lease says you give it back to them, period. None of this stuff where you can buy out the lease and go sell it for a higher price. If anybody's going to do that, Tesla will do it. I don't know what they're going to do with. I don't know what they do with my car. I guess they spruce it up, clean it up, and then sell them to rental car companies. Or make it into a robo taxi or the taxi business. They're going to do something with them. We're not buying the cars. We're leasing. We've been leasing, from Toyota or Honda, whatever, Mercedes, BMW. We've always leased. Not always. Back in I'm going to say the late 70s, early 80s, we were buying cars. They had an 84-month car loan. The BMW did, I think. So that stretched out the payments over quite a period of time. So the payments were low. The advantage of a lease is the factory basically sells the car to a financial subsidiary, that actually has title to the cars, and then we lease it. And since the cars are so electronic and electric, in the case of Tesla, it was, it's 2 years ago. I said, well, hey, let's get a Tesla. And we were talking about it, and she, Marilyn agreed to it. And I said, okay, let's, she knew it was something that would interest me. And, with me being semi-retired, mostly retired, it gives me something to kind of like play around with. Big toy. Anyway, and it is fun to drive, I will say. And it's different. But the scary part was, it's this electric thing. When you drive a car, there are 150,000 gas stations. There are not 150,000 electric places, like the supercharger. Now, when you plug in and you do a fill up at a supercharger station, it costs about $15. It would only cost $5 in my own garage. Now, sometimes I can't get to the plug. There's a plug that Dr. Brian, he's someone I know in our building. He lives in 815. I live in apartment 812. Anyway, so he's a couple of doors down. And I asked him, I said, I wrote him a letter, actually, slipped it under his door. And I said, would you be so kind and allow me to, plug in when you're, because it's on a column, backwards to the, where you can see. So this is a column that's next to his, bordering his parking space. So you can't actually see the plug from people driving around in the parking lot. But if you park in the space, when you get out of the car and you look and you see the back end of the column, there's a plug there. You plug right into that plug, and that's how you charge your car. And it has a plug. It looks like a dryer plug, sort of. It's a NEMA 1550 plug, or maybe it's a 1450 plug. I think it's 1450, and that is a plug with the feed in a certain way, and you attach that to your charging cable, which you. I think it came with my car, but now they charge you 200 for the cable, which is a bit of a rip. Marilyn just sent me a little message. I don't know what the message is. I'll have to look it up on the phone. Anyway, so I can do it here. Message. And there's did you get in the water? Oh yeah. Marilyn misses getting in the water. We haven't been to the beach in a while. All right, so that's that. We're gonna have dinner together. I was just making sure no one was canceling that. So gonna have a birthday dinner for Daniel. He hit 32. Today is his birthday. So we're having a birthday dinner for him and Brennan because we missed the birthday Brennan dinner because he was working, and we keep on putting it on this weekend, next weekend, and then it keeps on getting bumped. So we finally agreed. This is Sunday. Daniel's off playing golf, and Brennan is. Let's see if we can find Daniel, my super duper here. Let's see. I think I have contact. See. Oh, and there it is. No, I don't want that. Oh, I need. Sorry, folks. I-N-D. Find my. There it is. All right. You're zooming around. That's right. You got the full screen there. So now Daniel, he's on the beach. You see? You see, we can see Daniel's face. That's his phone. Or at least his phone is at the beach. And he's south. He's like Deerfield Beach. He was playing golf with his buddies. So it's late in the afternoon. So they got back early or they didn't golf. Whatever. And he visited his buddy. That's down over here, Boca Beach. And Brennan is at his apartment. He's out there apparently walking his dog named Sky, S-K-Y. Oh, see, there he is. So now he's there. So he's walking the dog around the perimeter of the building, or he's walking himself around the perimeter of the building. It's pretty hot today, so he's probably walking the dog. And, Bob Beatty, where's he? Boing. Bob is home. As you can see, where Bob is, and that's in Fort Myers. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely amazing. Well, I can go down the list. Let's see where Robin is. Yeah, Robin is at her house right there. She's moving around the backyard. So she's at her Potomac house. They got two houses, one in Potomac and another one in Alexandria on the water. And let's go to Judy. And she's in her apartment, house, condo at in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You can see exactly where she's at. Um, we can zoom back. I'm doing I'm doing my, reverse pinch. See, so there's Milwaukee. Keep reverse pinching. And we're pulling in more states. There's New York. So there's Robin. You see a little picture of Robin. There's Lee, my other son. Let's see where he is. There he is. He's in his log cabin. He's on the farm, farm property. And he owns a farm with that house. And, yeah, phone's active. He actually, uh, this Find Friends thing is really quite nice because someone stole his phone. And then he called me and he says, look up my phone on Find Friends and send me a picture. So I sent him a screenshot of this. He's right on Richmond Road. And so he was able to pick that picture up because he had his iPad with him. So he was reading his iPad and apparently looked away, went to the bathroom, whatever, and left his phone somewhere in the, a fast food place. So when I sent him a picture, it went to his iPad. He sent that picture to the police, and they went over to wherever the heck the phone ended up, which is, like another fast food place 10 miles away. And they got the phone and they got the guy and they handcuffed him and everything. I mean, so this Find Friends thing is pretty handy. My son whined about it. Brennan did. Because now, so I have one son that's a mile away, another son that's a half a mile away. You can see it from this menu. Uh, Judy, we went to Wisconsin, 1,227 miles away. That's as the crow flies. That's not according to the highways. Lee is 809 miles away. You can see that. Robin is 887 miles away. And Marilyn is at Seacoast Bank, 3 miles away. Bob in Fort Myers is 112 miles away. How cool is that? Anyway, so now you've got a bird's eye view of what. I'll close that app. Settings. Uh, let's see what's going on with the hurricane business. Pretty nice. So you can see that. There is something out there. Tropical storm, and that's that indication is. And let's go to back to Dawn. Let's see what's going on with Dawn. So there's Dawn. Oh, that's Dawn, I guess. Let me hit this again. And let's look at satellite 95L. That's the transducer in a certain satellite. And here's a disturbance right there. X marks the spot. And it's a 20% chance of becoming, the formation of cyclonic activity. So you can see you can kind of see where it's is right in there where it's like transparent. And in the next, 12 hours, it'll start twisting and rotating counterclockwise, um, right below Jamaica and so forth. So that's what's going to happen with that. And, let's see. Oh yeah. This weather app right here. I mean, it's amazing, with some of these apps. Yeah. What did we lose? streaming situation. I'm going to carry on. We'll be done in a minute. Anyway, so here's an app. Oh my God. So there's a big disturbance here. Um, and it's highlighted in yellow. Look at that. I don't see any. See if we can see. I don't see cyclonic activity there. But it's a big low pressure and it's going to be raining like crazy. Here's this thing. It's doing a loop a doop and it's up here. And you can see the cyclonic activity. You can see those green streams that turn into blue. Let's see if there's let's let's check this thing out here. See if there's any. See, there's a lot of rain, a lot of stormy stuff going on with that. I was just looking to see if there's any cyclonic, if there's any central rotation, and that really hasn't formed yet. Yeah, but you can see it's got a lot of stuff in there. You can see that translucent, that yellow and all that green. That's all clouds, and if they become thunderclouds, you can see here. You see how the tops are red. That means that's up in the very upper atmosphere. I was my neighbor across the hall from me in the dormitory where I went to college, Union College. He When I was like a sophomore, it wasn't freshman year, I think it was sophomore year. He comes over. We're everyone's buddies, across the halls and everything in the dormitory, right? And so he comes walking to my room. My door was open, and I live with two basketball players. So the door is always open. People coming and going all the time, talking to them. And since I was roommates with them, the three of us in a room, it was, I got to know people I would not normally get to know because the two basketball players, Bobby Cox was one of them. They're like 6'9" or whatever. I felt like I was a Lilliputian, in the lands of the Giants. Anyway, because all these basketball players are coming. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? They give me a hug and their belly buttons in my face. Get away from me, Anyway, this guy walks across the hall. I forget his name, which is terrible. I forgot his name. And he said, Jimmy, I just received. I passed the test, and I just received my certification to be an instructor for a pilot's license. So I am now a pilot's license instructor. And how would you like to be my first student? I said, so you know how to fly a plane and everything? He said, oh, yeah. I've had a pilot's license for a number of years. And I took, classwork and stuff to teach people like you how to become a pilot. So I am a pilot instructor. And I'm a pilot myself, a private pilot's license, instructor grade. I said, absolutely. He said, all you got to do, so I said, what is it, like a fee or whatever? He said, no, you'll be a freebie because you're number one. All you got to do is, if you don't mind, could you split the price of the gasoline that goes in the airplane? I said, absolutely. So, you fill up an airplane with gasoline. I think it cost me, I think they could, this is like 35 years ago or whatever, is in the 59, 63. So, it's in the late 60s. So how many years, well, a long time ago. Because 1970 to today would be 70, 80, 90, 2000, 2010, 40. Damn it. Time keeps flying by. It was 45 years ago, okay? 45 years ago, plus or minus, uh, when I did my pilot's license thing. So he taught me how to fly an airplane. You know, a Cessna 140, maybe, something like that. Single engine, wings above the cockpit, you know, as opposed to wings under. This is wings, you know, above your head, windshield prop in the front, single engine, 142, I think. So he taught me how to fly an airplane. We go up flying over Kentucky and this and that, and you know, 5,000 feet. So I know what 5,000 feet looks like, because you know we used to fly. Anyways, part of your pilot's training, I brought all this up, I get sidetracked, but is you have to learn about the weather. So that's why I know, um, you know, what's going on with the weather when they have these X's and all that stuff. So you know, you look. See, here's the low pressures. You see this whole system is moving 18 miles an hour, you know, north. You can see that red, that blue. Yeah, see, there you go. You see the clouds moving north. They're moving fast, and a dark red in the top of those suckers. That means they're high. You know that it's a a thunderstorm. So they have lightning and thunder, and the thunderhead. You know, it's a 45,000 foot cloud. You know, from the clouds start at about 2,500 feet above sea level and go up to 45,000 feet. So you got 43,000 feet of clouds. Yeah. And it's a lot of updrafts and downdrafts inside the middle of a thunderhead. You do not want to fly through one of those. No, because you could have a wing over here and a body over there, and your body, you know, you do not want to fly through a thunderhead, period. Even if you're a really big plane. Big planes, commercial planes, you know, with passengers and all that, you know, Flight 142 Delta, they do not fly through thunderheads, no matter how big the plane is, because it'll shake up your passengers pretty good. So you see all this lightning activity in the Gulf of Mexico. Every lightning strike is counted with this app. Now you see it stops right there because I've got a couple of hours of future radar. So that you can see it's moving, continuing moving from west to east. Um, but it doesn't show you future lightning, but it shows you the future cloud movement. That's gives you an idea about that. So we live right here where that blue dot is. That's where we are. I can zoom in. That's about the limit on the zooming with this map, the mapping software associated with this uh, weather radar thing. So, but that's, you know, where I'm sitting. My phone is sitting next to me. It's where the phone is, actually. uh, and, you know, I can push it, come back a certain distance, and if there's something to tell me, it'll tell me. But see, I'm zooming back out. This blue circle means there's a power outage. And see, power outage. And what do we have? It affects 9 customers. Stormy weather conditions. And, oh no, here, no, I'm sorry. Um, 3,143 Florida Power and Light customers have lost their power because of this storm activity. Okay, that's what it says. That's why that circle is, you know, a couple miles in diameter. It goes north of Lauderdale by the Sea and south of Hillsborough Beach. In that whole vicinity, there's 3,100 customers, 3,143 customers that eat. They're in the dark and they have no air conditioning. Whew, and it's getting toasty hot. So when I see a blue circle on the map, this the diameter of the circle. You can go to the center point of that and just you can see crosshairs if you look carefully. And if I touch the crosshairs, then this placard comes up and tells me that so there were two outages. One occurred at 1743 um, um, zebra. This is not Eastern Standard Time. It's so 17. Yeah, see, 1743, and this happened in 1900 hours, which is 2 hours, an hour and a half later. So you just add 5 to that. Yeah, we're +5. So that's 4 o'clock, or subtract 5. Take 5 away. 4. Anyway, they lost time here is 2:33, so I'm trying to figure out um, what Eastern time that represents. Anyway, so 3,143 customers are without power right now. So FPNL is running around trying to figure out how to restore that power. There doesn't seem to be any terrible weather in the area. Not far away, though, we have this big yellow zone, which is telling the aircraft, if you're coming down here with people, you're going to fly around this big yellow zone and watch out for, these thunderclouds that are forming. There doesn't seem to be a center of rotation in the middle of that yellow area. So winds are basically going from southwest to northeast. Now we do have this area with the X. There's another X. That's interesting. This is Atlantic number 2. Probability of 20%. They haven't had a chance to change the graphics there. South. Yeah, there we go. Environmental conditions are expected to become marginally conducive for some gradual development of this system as it moves, towards the southeastern United States later this week. Formation chance through 48 hours is low, but past 48 hours, it grows to 20%, from 0 to 20%. So there's something going on here. It's enough activity and the type of activity that's conducive to forming perhaps a cyclonic. Starts to rotate, then you're in trouble because a storm can form right out there and come across and give you some real trouble. And form fast, and all of a sudden you got to watch out. So we have, with the technology, so here's about this, and there already is there? Let's see. Oops, sorry. I don't actually see rotational activity yet. There's another storm somewhere. Oh, there's one up here. Yeah. This one has cyclonic activity. Gosh. Oops. Where is it? It's up here now. There we go. See, that is the cyclonic activity I'm talking about. and the clouds and everything and the stormy stuff is to the, you can see where this is like green. And on top it's purple, which means there's not much going on there. And there is the center of rotation, right there. Everything is moving around that point. You do not want to fly through that. That's something to stay away from. And all the storm stuff, because when you're in an airplane, and particularly a little one, you get bounced around very good. It's like being in a small boat. You don't want to do that. So anyway, that disturbance, it did a loopy-doop, and then it's up here. It started here, it looped around, became a tropical depression. That's why you got the blue D's. And a tropical storm is green, and then here it went to a hurricane with winds, for Hurricane 1, Category 1. Then it dropped back to tropical storm, which means under 65 miles an hour or less, 64 miles an hour or less. And here it is, still a tropical storm, but, well organized. Yep. So that's the weather activity. Anything, they come right off the coast of Africa and slide across. It's amazing how it comes right across this alleyway. We've had a very quiet hurricane season this year, but September is the big month. So we're in July right now. So you got August, September. August, it builds up. September is the most activity in the last 100 years occurs in September. And, this month, we've had them as late as November, but generally, September is the highest time, the best time to form really strong hurricanes. But we got some stuff going on here. And maybe just tropical storm. You can see there's a lot of, this cloud activity. This is the size of Florida from there to there. You look at the length of Florida and turn it sideways. So there's, it's quite an area of not so good rain. So you don't want to be floating around on a boat out there, better to stay out of the boat. You do not want to take your $1 million boat and try to go to Puerto Rico or these tropical islands and do not go to Antigua. When the weather's like this, because to get from there to there, you got to fly through this, and you don't want to do it because look at it. This whole thing is going to be moving right up in there. Antigua is going to be wet and lousy. So you got all those beautiful beaches, beach chairs. They're going to be in plain, canasta. All right. Time now is it's 2:41. Oh, I got a big clock right here. It's 2:41. It's 94 degrees outside. It's 3:45 p.m. Or no, I have an alarm going on for 3:45. Time now is 2:41. We've been on the air for 1 hour and 9 minutes. Bam, 10 minutes. So we're done. So you all have a great day. And we're hearing music through my because I can't figure out how to get it in here. Jeez. I'll try to work on that when we close out here. So anyway, so you all have a great day. And I'm going to be quiet and we'll listen to Epidemias are royalty-free background music. Just think of it as being in the dentist's office. See you tomorrow.